Hi everyone, my name is Rachel and welcome to the French Scenes. Thank you very much for joining me for today's video. Today is my turn on the vlogger tour for So Frugal 2026 and I'm very excited to be sharing my ideas with you. So Frugal, I believe, is in its 5th or 6th year, and I think I've taken part in 4 of those years, so I'll link all my videos in the description box down below. It is a fantastic sewing challenge that is hosted every year by the fantastic ladies Ruan the Yorkshire Sew Girl and Sam from Frugalissima. So ladies, thank you very much for hosting for yet another year. Basically, the premise of So Frugal is pick fabric from your stash and sew up a free pattern. What could be easier? Then post on Instagram on the 31st of May. So it's being hosted now in May this year and not March. But it's a fantastic challenge. And even now, watching the rest of the videos on the vlogger tour, so I'll link that down below as well, I'm still seeing free patterns by some companies I've never heard of, patterns I've never seen before. It's fantastic for inspiration every single year. So there are, of course, a host of lovely prizes you can win, which is very exciting. So be sure to tag Ruan and Sam in your post and use the hashtag SoFrugal, and then also let them know where in the world you are, because you could be in line to win a fantastic prize. And this year there are a whole host of fantastic sponsors, so thank you very much to them as well. So shall we dive straight in? In my videos from previous years, I've made everything from jumpsuits to hoodies to t-shirts, all that fun stuff. And I'm kind of staying on the same vein as I did last year. So last year, if you cast your minds back, I actually filmed a little video up in our attic, which is where I keep all my scraps. And I don't know about you, but I have an awful lot of fabric scraps. In particular, jersey scraps. So, and they're in a huge big bag in the attic, and I went up there and had a good rummage through them to see what fabric I had. Did I have any usable piece of fabric to use up scraps with a free pattern? And that worked out really well last year. I made a t-shirt and a hoodie for myself. I made t-shirts and hoodies for my boys purely out of my scraps, and it was great. There is something very wonderful about using up your jersey scraps, there really is. So I'm hoping to try that technique again this year, and I went up and grabbed a lot of fabric scraps, and I've got a few more patterns to show you in which you can use them. This year as well, I'm really keen to use a new technique that I haven't used before, which is freely accessible. There's a load of videos on YouTube, I'll link them down below, and I would like to try something called reverse applique. So I'll pop in a little picture here. Basically, on a sweatshirt or a hoodie, whatever you want to do, you lay a piece of fabric on the back and stitch around it. It looks really nice, and it will definitely elevate some of my makes. So they are my plans for this year. So the first idea I had to use up my jersey scraps was from Peekaboo Patterns, and it is called the Adult Classic Sweatshirt. So you can gain access to this pattern by either joining their Facebook group or by adding your name to the newsletter, and it'll be sent directly to you. So it's a kind of a relaxed fit. I'll pop in the line drawings here. It comes in a crew neck or a hoodie. It comes with a pocket as well, and it's actually a unisex sewing pattern, which is really great. But it just looks really nice. I know there's a ton of hoodie and sweatshirt patterns, but this one is free, and it's nice to try one from a new designer. Of course, trying free patterns from a designer is really great, because then you can see what their block is like, what their fit is like, what their instruction is like, and then that might encourage you to look at more at their pattern catalogue. So that was my first idea for a hoodie or a sweatshirt. Next up is the Page Pico top, and this is from Made by Mermaids, and this also comes in a tunic and a dress as well. So with all these, even though they're free patterns, you get an awful lot of choice, so you get a load of variations, which is really great. This comes in kids and adults. It's a dolman sleeve. There's options for a high or low scoop neck. There's options for a binding finish, even though I have my own binding video on my YouTube channel. I'll link it down below. It comes with a flounce sleeve, a short sleeve, a half or a long sleeve, and it also comes with 4 hemline options. So you really are getting a lot for your free pattern right here. And with Made for Mermaids and Peekaboo Patterns, and from the next pattern company I'm going to talk about, they have a whole host of free patterns on their website. Most are garments, which would be eligible for the So Frugal, but then they have an awful lot of things like accessories and dog patterns, all that good stuff, which is really fun to look at as well. So the next pattern I want to share with you is from Patterns for Pirates, and this is called the Snowfall Shrug. And this is actually a zero waist pattern, which I've never actually tried a zero waist pattern before, so that could be quite good fun. It has cuffs, and the sleeves are gathered into the cuffs. It gives a kind of a batwing finish, which is really nice, which you know I do enjoy. And I've also made recently the Sleigh Ride Shawl from Patterns for Pirates. I made that just before Christmas last year, a lovely crossover shawl pattern, and that was lovely as well. So that is also a free pattern, so I will link that down below as well. Then last on my list is one for kids because I do have two small boys and I do love making for them. And this is the Brindle and Twig Ringer Tea. So it comes in 0 to age 6, which is the free pattern, but then you can of course buy an age 6 to age 14 pattern. I think that you do have to pay for that. And then there also is a paid adult version as well. So even after the challenge, you can have a bit of a matchy family moment, which I love. So this comes in short and long sleeves, but I do love the short sleeve version with the cuff, the short sleeve cuff. I think looks really cute. And this is definitely one that I would love to try the reverse applique on as well. I think that looks really good fun. I did make a Brindle and Twig hoodie last year for older French seams and I really enjoyed making it. The instructions, everything was just great. So Brindle and Twig do have a whole host of fantastic children's patterns. So again, I would encourage you to take a look. So they were the patterns I had in mind. Shall I show you what fabric I have? So shall we have a look at the fabric? So I went up to the attic and I went through my scraps bin and pulled out some perfect jersey for all these patterns. So if you do watch my channel, you know that when I buy fabric, I generally buy fabric for a specific pattern. So I generally buy the fabric requirements that I do need. So in the vain hope that I don't end up with fabric scraps, but of course I do, and this is now perfect to use them up. So I did find an awful lot of cuffing, ribbing, which would be very useful for jersey make, so in various plain colours, but also this fantastic rainbow one, which I just love. It's rainbow and glitter, what could be better? I got that from Crafty Studio, so I have a little bit of that, which would be really good for some sort of sweatshirt make. This fabric I do have a little bit of actually, which is great. It's this beautiful blue fabric with kites all over it. And my lovely friend Benita gave me this recently and it's really pretty and it's got little leaves and flowers and stuff. And it is a loop back French terry, I believe. Yes, it is. But it's beautiful quality and I think that would make a lovely sweatshirt or hoodie or something nice. So I'm glad I have that. I seem to have an awful lot of black cotton jersey, which I'm not complaining about. It's fantastic, but I'm not quite sure how I accumulated so much. But this has a good bit. So this could be good for the zero waist shrug. Actually, that could be quite nice. And that, of course, would go with a multitude in my wardrobe. So that could be quite useful. Then I got a little bit of this star green fabric left over, which is really pretty. Could use that for some sort of accent or something. It's lovely green colour. And then I've got a bit of this jacquard jersey. I made a Marlowe cardigan out of this a number of years ago, but it's got beautiful texture to it. I think it's lovely fabric, so I've got a little bit of that as well. That could match nicely with the black cotton jersey. What do you think? I do have a little bit of this left over. I made pajamas for my boys out of this last year in this really fun otter fabric. So that could be really cute for a little t-shirt or a little make or something along those lines. That's very cute. I have a little bit of this lovely brushed back sweatshirting that I got from Crafty Studio last year, the year before, I think. I call this macaroni. I think it looks like macaroni. This would make a lovely warm sweatshirt as well. I think it's really pretty fabric. That is beautiful. I have a good bit of this green sweatshirting left over, and if you cast your minds back, I made myself a dinosaur Halloween costume last year, and I have a little bit of this left over. It's beautiful kind of marled green fabric, and it's a lovely brushed back sweatshirting, so that could be kind of fun for a hoodie or something like that. I think that's lovely, and I think I have matching ribbing for this as well, so that could work beautifully. And then last up, I have this lovely blue sweatshirting fabric, lovely fleece back again, that I made my boys' shark costumes out of. So I do have quite a lot to play with here. So do you think I could make maybe a hoodie or a sweatshirt or t-shirts or a little ringer tee out of any of these? I'm wondering how I get on. But because some of the fabric is solid colours, I think this could lend itself quite nicely to the reverse applique. So I'm just going to have a think about what word I want to use. Do I want to use something funny, like something in the sewing world, or do I want to use something generic, like summer? Answers down below if you do have an idea for that, but I think the reverse applique could be really fun to try on one of these patterns. So what do you think? So these are my free pattern ideas to use up my jersey scraps and get them out of my attic so I can buy more fabric. I'm really hoping to give that reverse applique a go, so be sure to come back at the end of the month on the 31st of May, where I'll be posting what I got made up on Instagram. I'll be tagging So Frugal 2026, I'll be tagging Sam and Ruwan, and of course I will be letting them know that I'm based in Ireland as well. So thank you very much for watching. I will tag everything down below, and I will also send a list to the playlist, so be sure to check out all the other vloggers on this fantastic vlogger tour. I hope you're all well. I hope that you're doing some So Frugal makes as well. Please let me know in the comment box below what you're working on, and I will see you very soon in another video. Take care everyone. Bye.